had rain this morning, but it's turned out to be a beautiful afternoon on this homecoming day. The only thing wrong for the grads of TCU, the Horned Frogs are behind in this game. They are 5-1 going into this one. The last time they were 5-1 was 1958, 26 years ago. They went 8-2-1 that year, lost only to Iowa and SMU, and tied Air Force in the Cotton Bowl. That was under Coach Abe Martin. Frogs' national ranking, well, they've not appeared in a National Wire Service ranking since 1959 when they were 8th in the AP, 9th in UPI. They're currently in the top 20 in 3 polls of publications. Jim Mueller is going to kick off. Clinton Brown, Roscoe Tatum, Tony Jeffrey are deep. And it's Tony Jeffrey right up the sideline. They're trying to find some room, and he's not going to go anyplace. In fact, he gets near the 9-yard line, and he is dumped there by Dan Baker.
I know that he wanted to try to make a big return, but it was not good judgment to try to return that one.
Tony Scarapa is going to be the starting quarterback for the second half. Anthony Gully played most of the first half. It was Scarapa who came in to engineer that big drive culminated by the 60-yard touchdown run by Kenneth Davis, which put TCU into the lead briefly, only to have Baylor come back and march 80 yards for a touchdown of the lead. Here we go. It is Davis, and Greg Baumkamp, number 76, the right tackle, stops him after about a 2-yard pickup. Those tackles for Baylor are really outstanding.
All 4 of them are. Baumkamp, Mergenhagen, Grumbine, and Coriat. They've dominated the 2 offensive guards thus far. The only time the handoff's broken is when they have stretched it out and blocked those tackles in rather than trying to break inside of them.
Second down 8. Scarapa, a senior from San Antonio's Clark High School. Scarapa throwing in the run, and it is caught by Keith Burnett, number 84, for a first down. Anthony Coleman, number 6, the left cornerback, had the coverage on the play, and Scarapa is moving the Horned Frogs with an 18-yarder.
When he runs the sprint out pass, as he does here, it's a bootleg, really. He gets outside the pressure men. The receiver, Burnett, was able to defeat the cornerback, and they pick up a vital first down. They started from the about 8.5-yard line.
Scarapa, a handoff to Tony Jeffrey, and Baumkamp is there to say hello to him. Jeffrey, the freshman from Gladewater. Oh, he's just one of many great running backs that have come out of that area. Second down, for all practical purposes, 10 yards to go.
And we haven't had one good execution, really, of the so-called veer triple option, and that was the long touchdown run, 60 yards by Davis, because of the dominance of the defensive line of Baylor.
Second down, 10. Uh-oh. Tommy Sheehan, number 71, the right guard of TCU, made a move a little too soon.
When you've been getting beat, as he has by Mergenhagen and Grumbine both, you get a little over-anxious sometimes. Want to move out quick, get to them before they move.
A lot of bowl representatives are here today scouting both these clubs, primarily TCU because of the 5-1 record. The Fiesta Bowl is represented, the Sun Bowl, the Peach Bowl, the Cotton Bowl, the Bluebonnet Bowl, the Independence Bowl, and the Liberty Bowl. Not only that, but there are 10 pro scouts here looking on today. The Frogs have drawn some attention.
There's some players out there that are going to be able to make it big in professional football.
Second down after the penalty. Second down and 13. Scarapa looking. And going deep for Manus. Manus down on the 49-yard line of Baylor. Chased out of bounds by Johnny Thomas, number 41. Thomas Everett, number 27. A 26-yard pickup by Manus.
Scarapis again faking the handoff play, then rolling back to the outside. He doesn't have pressure at all, and he makes a perfect throw and a very fine catch. Another big first down for the Horned Frogs.
Ronnie Thompson is coming to play that corner now. James Manus, a double All-America in track for 2 years, and here is Scarapa just going straight ahead on the quarterback sneak, getting down inside the 40 to the 39, close to a first down. Thomas Everett, number 27, the weak safety, had to make the tackle.
And the defensive tackles of Baylor are playing on the outside shoulder of the guards, which is why they've been able to control them to the degree that they have. That opens up the quarterback sneak if you can get a block on Hancock, the linebacker.
The length of the football, they need to go for a first down on second down and a ball. Scarapa on the option, and the pitch goes to Davis. And Davis stays on his feet for the first down at the 35-yard line, and a flag goes down outside after the play was over. Ronnie Thompson was over there, number 20, and Davis picks up the first down.
He's very strong for his speed to be 5'10" and 210 pounds. He still outrun anyone, and as he breaks the first tackle here, he picks up an easy first down on the play, and then you can see the unnecessary roughness as he was hit about 3 yards out of bounds, and now the official is marching it off.
Boy, this is the wrong time to get a major penalty for Baylor, though, with TCU on the drive, and I'm sure Grant Tapp is thinking, hey, we don't need to give him any help.
We'll take a look at the penalty again, and you kind of lose track, really, of where you are. When Davis has the ball, you're so anxious to get to him. You know how dangerous he is, and when he runs out of bounds, sometimes you don't realize you've crossed the sideline.
It is first down. Scarapa. Jeffrey blocking for him. He goes to the back of the end zone. Manus is out there, and it's broken up on a double team. Ronnie Thompson, number 20, was back there on the coverage with Thomas Everett, number 27, the weak safety. So Scarapa throwing to the back of the end zone, incomplete, and it'll be second down, 10 on the 20-yard line of Baylor.
Scarapa looks very poised. It looks like he's been playing all season instead of having Gully be the starting quarterback most of the time for TCU.
Kenneth Davis, an 8.4 yard per carry average this year. You know how you get that? Today he has 9 carries, 109 yards. Second down. Scarapa has a chance to run if he can. Now he finds Sharp in the end zone. He caught the ball. Thomas Everett, number 27, had the coverage on Sharp, and Scarapa was just looking for anything. Randall was bringing the pressure. Here's Scarapa right on the sideline, no place to go, and all of a sudden he sees Sharp.
Well, it's very tough on the pass defenders. When you have the play that long in action, awfully hard to keep everybody covered, but it appeared that Scarapa had no chance to get rid of the ball, and yet he threw it to a touchdown to Sharp in the end zone.
Sharp's 5th touchdown reception of the year. And now, TCU has tied Baylor at 20. Ken Ozee, the junior from Amarillo, a chance now to put the Frogs into the lead. 12 minutes, 27 seconds to go in the third quarter. TCU takes the lead. 21-20, 91-yard drive, 8 plays.
Very impressive drive as we look at the touchdown play again. Scarapa faking, then dropping back. Nobody's open. He has to run to the outside. He's got speed enough, it appears, to almost get the corner turn. Then he does not have room as the next man comes up. He throws it downfield. Sharp reaches for the ball and makes a truly sensational catch. You can see him hug the ball to his chest just as he hit the ground. Let's watch it one more time and see what a gorgeous catch that was. That's concentration on the ball for the touchdown.
So Sharp, who had an outstanding day against Arkansas with 106 yards, is coming up with another one here today. 21-20 has won the battle of the statistics for the second time today. Baylor trails, and right now there's the hero, Dan Sharp, who just caught that 20-yard touchdown pass, his 5th TD reception of the year.
Very impressive 8-play drive. 91 yards in 2 minutes and 33 seconds. Very explosive team.
Scarapa has done a great job off the bench today.
And the Baylor coaches thought perhaps that he was out of bounds before he threw the ball. We're going to try to get another look at it after the kickoff.
So John Denton will be kicking it off. Derek McAdoo is deep for Baylor in the middle. Here comes the angle kick again. Going out of the end zone. It'll be coming to the 30-yard line.
We'll take a look at the touchdown pass. Scarapa forced to run to the outside. He gets past one man, and now he's very close to the sidelines here. Watch his feet. See if he was out of bounds or even close to it. And he clearly gets rid of the ball long before he hit the sideline. Legal play. Great catch by Sharp. Vital touchdown for TCU.
Well, Baylor, which has just had a fantastic show of offense today, now trailing by a point, 70 yards away from the end zone of TCU. Stockamer gets the call. Stockemer running behind Jeff Palmer and Brian Kemp. Gets only a couple, maybe 3 at the most.
Very quickly in the first half, Baylor, on their first drive, went 39 yards before fumbling. They scored on the next one, 74-yard drive, a field goal, then a 86-yard drive, another field goal, and then an 80-yard drive to a touchdown, and they have not punted the football yet. That's how dominant their offense has been.
And they trail by 1. That's football for you. Bobby Joe Conrad is split out along with Horace Yates. Sargent and Stockemer are the running backs for Baylor. Yates in motion. Tom Mickey across the 35 to about the 37. Darren Turner, number 93, the junior from Sterling High School in Houston, on the hit, along with Kent Trammell, number 91, the 19-year-old nose guard, the sophomore from Corsicana.
Did a good job of trailing the play that time and closing as Mickey turned upfield on the option.
You saw the Super Frog, and there's the Super Frog.
An enthusiastic frog.
Super Jim. 3rd down, 3.
Great coach, great fellow.
Pruitt and Conrad are the wideouts. Incomplete for Pruitt. So this is the first time, I believe, that Baylor has not come back. This is the first time they've been stopped on 3 plays.
That's correct. And Sawyer, their punter, is one of the best in the country, but a big charge for the TCU defense and a very pleased home crowd.
And you saw the man who led that charge, Kent Trammell, number 91, the nose tackle. So, the first punt of the day for Buzzy Sawyer, who is 44.6 for the year average. Kind of gets a wobbly kick away. Clinton Brown fielding it on the run and diving and holding onto the ball at the 26-yard line. Hang time of 3.86. 38-yard punt. And we'll be back right after this. Texas Christian University. Any rebroadcast or retransmission without the written permission of these parties is expressly prohibited. The announcers for this game were approved by the Southwest Athletic Conference. Our thanks to Maxie Parrish, the SID at Baylor, and Glenn Stone, his counterpart at TCU, for their cooperation in helping us to set up this telecast for today's game. TCU will have the ball on its own 25-yard line, driving for a lead touchdown on its last possession. Now with 10:57 to go in the 3rd quarter, Grant Tapp and his Baylor Bears are behind in this game, 21-20. Anthony Scarapa at quarterback. Jeffrey and Davis are the running backs. Davis, not very much.
Once again, very dominant defensive play.
Kevin Hancock, the middle linebacker from Texas City, making the stop. Yard picked up, 2nd down 9. Davis, the 2nd leading ground gainer in the country, and obviously number 1 in the Southwest Conference. Davis had 861 yards coming into today's game. Swing pass to Davis. Davis looking for a block. Davis making his cut, using his speed, pulled down from behind to the 44-yard line. Ronnie Thompson, Paul Mergenhagen, everybody was putting the chase on him. A 30-yard pickup on the pass to Davis.
Man-for-man pass defense, and as Scarapa stops, turns back to him. He's wide open in the flat. He turns on the speed downfield. You can tell him pointing to the people, block this man, block that man, then I've got to cut it back and do it my own. The pursuit finally gets to him.
Mergenhagen coming up from behind. Not too much on that one, a yard or so. Baumkamp stopping the play. Scarapa maybe 2 yards. 2nd about 8.
The passing attack has been the key thing for TCU. They have not been able to get their Veer offense consistently moving the ball, but their passes have been extremely effective.
That's what Scarapa has done in this game so far. Very good. 5 out of 7 and 99 yards and a touchdown. And a big gainer a moment ago to Davis. Davis at the 40, being jarred all the way back to the 44 by Aaron Grant, the strong linebacker, number 43, and middle linebacker Kevin Hancock, number 50. Make that Jeffrey. Tony Jeffrey, a freshman from Gladewater, 523 yards coming into this game and a 6.4 average. Bud, did you ever have 2 running backs that one had a 6.4 yard per carry average, another 8.4 when you were at Oklahoma?
Well, we had 2 great ones on one team when we had Tommy McDonald and Brendan Thomas, and they didn't average quite that much, but they had very good averages.
3rd down, 6. And this time it is Kevin Hancock coming with Paul Mergenhagen and Jack Hurd, and Baylor turned them loose.
They came with a blitz, and the cornerback, the wide man, the end rather, keeps him from turning the corner. He's been able to get the outside every time, but you could see the end coming in, turn him in so quickly, and then the tackle made by the defensive end, Randall.
The loss makes it 4th down 10 as you look at Kevin Hancock. Gargis will kick it away. Thomas Everett is back deep for the Baylor Bears. Gargis looks for the sideline. He's got out of bounds. Let's see where they mark it. In the area of the 15, 16, 17, 18. They're still walking near the 20-yard line. Not too much on that one. Punt of 28 yards. And we'll be back after this from Jefferson Pilot Corporation. Exciting matchup. These same TCU Horned Frogs, the #1 offensive team in the country, faced the first-place Houston Cougars, who beat SMU a week ago to take the conference lead. That's TCU at Houston next Saturday, 11:30 a.m. Central Time on all these Raycom stations.
Sawyer is a great punter. He kind of shanked that one, as you pointed out, but it hit the ground and took a very fine Baylor bounce, so he got great yardage.
Coach Grant Tapp has switched his tackles again. Bringing on the second unit as Davis goes up to the midfield stripe. Irvin Randall, 49, the defensive left end, and Hancock, 50, the middle linebacker, make the stop. Gain of 6. Wisconsin hanging on, Coach.
They sure are. And Boston College superiority beginning to show up against Rutgers. Georgia dominating Kentucky. Surprising game.
2nd down 4. Scaraffa on the pitch, and Jeffries has to go to pick it up, and he goes out of bounds. They're going to lose on that one. Back at the 46-yard line. Ray Berry, the weak linebacker, number 57, and was over there along with Pat Coriat.
See Scaraffa taking the handoff play on the veer option. He almost gets caught from behind, does get caught from behind, tripped up, and that's why the ball was wildly pitched. Jeffries goes for it. It goes out of bounds. 4-yard loss on the play.
So now TCU is faced with a 3rd down and 9 with 6:45 to go in the 3rd quarter. TCU leading Baylor 21-20. Baylor led at the half 20-14. Here comes the blitz, and Scaraffa shakes it off, gets the pass away. It's almost intercepted by Ball. It was intended for Manus, and Hurd was coming with a blitz.
He did a great job to get rid of the ball here. To roll out to the outside, but again, the beautiful defensive play with the cornerbacks coming. He's able to get rid of the ball, but not to throw it. And they're going to have to execute that pass on 1st down rather than on 3rd and long if they're going to expect to get the corners turned against the Baylor defense.
Everett is back deep for the Gargis punt. So this will be Baylor's 3rd possession here in the 3rd quarter. This time he gets the hang time. And the fair catch is called for and taken at about the 13-yard line. And we have a flag in the play, however. 4.26 on the hang time. 41-yard punt, no return. And let's see if TCU was guilty of interfering with the reception of that punt.
You have to give the receiver the opportunity to fairly catch the ball, and I think that one of the covered men for TCU was too close.
Interference call, and that will be costly. So 6 minutes and 30 seconds remain to be played in the 3rd quarter. TCU leading Baylor by a score of 21. Wacker wants to do right now is give Baylor anything because his defense has stopped Baylor in the last 2 possessions.
They can do it one more time. They might have some confidence. Yeah, we can play good defensive football ourselves.
Scaraffa's done an outstanding job coming off the bench today, taking TCU to a lead twice. They now enjoy a 21-20 advantage with 6:30 to go in the 3rd quarter. I want to thank our spotters today, TCU's Byron Mize and Jeff Sims, who's handling the Baylor board, and our statistician Lee Friday. Nice job, gentlemen. Lee's had a lot to keep up with today with all the numbers that are being posted. Mickey will be the quarterback. Straight drop with time. Finally has to release. But Gerald Taylor was all over Broderick Sargent. And this time, the linebacker who had the coverage on the back was right there with him.
They read it well, did not have anybody extra rushing, and they were able to stay with all of the receivers. Pass complete, but very short gain.
Second down 8 after a pickup of 2. Paul Jones coming into the defensive end. He is replacing David Caldwell. Jones, a senior from Eastern High School in Fort Worth. Horace H. and Bobby Joe Conrad are the wideouts for Baylor. John Addix up over the ball. The pitch to Stockamer, trying to get to the outside. And Russell down back on the 18-yard line by Sean Thomas, number 22, a senior out of Sacramento, California. Loss of 2 on the play.
And again, this is a different-looking TCU defense here in the second half.
What kind of adjustments have they made here?
I think they're moving the nose man over so that it's an even front instead of an on front. Got Trammell playing over a guard, Comedy playing over a guard, and see where they line up this time. Yes, they moved them again. See the even front, 2 men playing over the 2 offensive guards.
Third down 10. Pruitt in motion. McGee, incomplete. Off target to Pruitt. Pruitt covered well by Sean Thomas, the left cornerback. And the fans react again for the Horned Frog defense, which has stopped Baylor 3 times in a row here in the third quarter.
The first half went to the review one more time. Baylor never had to punt the football in the first half. And here the first 3 possessions, 3 punts.
Do you suppose Jim Wacker's insurance agent is watching this game?
I hope so.
He's going to cancel his policy. Bad snap. Back of the end zone. And Mueller gets the kick blocked as he gets it away. It's not gone anywhere, but at least he got it out near the 30-yard line, rolling up to the 32. And Mueller did a fantastic job of even getting that ball 15 yards out there and avoiding a safety or avoiding giving up the ball like at the 1-yard line.
I don't know how he came close to getting rid of it. You see the very bad snap. Sawyer tries to get back to it. The ball is bouncing on the ground. He doesn't get the handle. He looks up, and just before he's hit, he managed to swing his foot into the ball and did get a little bit of yardage, but now we have great field position for TCU.
I beg your pardon, Buzzy Sawyer. Buzzy was the punter on the play, obviously. Davis out of bounds on the near sideline. Jackie Ball, the right quarterback, there on the coverage, along with Derek Turner, number 81. Jim Mueller, of course, is the field goal kicker. Buzzy Sawyer, number 2 punter in the Southwest Conference, doing a fine job of getting that ball out any place. Second down, 10 on the 32-yard line.
And I think shortly we'll see TCU throwing the ball on first down. The Baylor defense swarming at them, expecting a run on first down.
Second down, 10. Jeffrey and Davis are the running backs. Intended for Jeffrey, who has not been heard from much today. Hancock and Subia back in that area defensively for Baylor, and it is third down.
He was open by a step or 2, but very well covered. No way the quarterback could quite get the ball to him.
So Anthony Scaraffa looks for the sideline. The play is brought in by Keith Burnett, number 84, the wide receiver. Third down, 10 on the 32. James Manus splits wide to the right side. To the left side is Keith Burnett. Scaraffa, the pitch to Jeffrey. Jeffrey doesn't go any place. I don't know if he got to the line of scrimmage or not. Ray Berry, 57, the weak side linebacker. Johnny Thomas, the right cornerback, on the stop, but a flag is thrown.
And a beautiful, beautiful defensive play by Baylor, the entire defensive team.
The indication, at least from the jubilant purple shirts, was that the penalty will be against Baylor. Two flags were thrown.
Terrible time to get a penalty, goodness sakes. And it is going to be against the Bears.
And a major penalty. 15 yards.
You give the ball to the opponents on your own 32-yard line. You stop them. They're almost out of field goal range, and then you get a penalty and give them a first down.
Baylor, 10 penalties, 90 yards. So a big 15-yard penalty is walked off. Ball to the 18-yard line, first and 10. Scaraffa and TCU. The handoff goes to Davis. He's inside the 15, near the 13. Greg Baumkamp, 76. Kevin Hancock, number 50, make the tackle. Let's pause 5 seconds to allow our local stations to identify themselves. This is the Raycom Sports Network.
KSAT TV, San Antonio.
Wilkinson with you on the TCU campus.
Didn't look like he made anything on the play, and actually he made almost 4 yards. Good takeoff by the line.
Second down coming up. Jeffrey down inside the 10 to the 9. Johnny Subia, the weak side safety, and Ray Berry, the weak side linebacker, on the tackle. Tony Jeffrey, 6.4 average per carry coming into the ball game. The freshman from Gladewater, 6 feet tall, 197 pounds. He just came in and won a job this fall. Manus brings the play in. Jack Hurd has come out. Aaron Grant has come in as they add another linebacker and the Baylor defensive alignment. Third down 2. Let's watch. Davis. Touchdown, his third of the day.
Once again, we had a great reach block by Benson. Davis was able to break it to the outside and into the end zone.
So Davis is having himself a big day. This junior from Temple, Texas, who needed before that carry 139 yards to break the 1,000-yard barrier, and he's got 124 yards in the game today and 3 touchdowns. And the extra point is added by Ken Ozee. It is now 28-20 TCU.
And when we get the replay, watch the fine block by Benson, the right tackle. You can see him wipe out everybody. Also a good block by the end. Davis now has clear sailing, and he can run through almost any one man, which he does, to score.
A very frustrating first half for TCU, basically, as Baylor simply dominated the Horned Frogs. The Horned Frogs just couldn't get their offense going because Baylor's defense was so outstanding. Here in the second half, it has been the defense of TCU. 9-yard run on the touchdown play, 32-yard drive, took 6 plays to get it in.
And a very costly unnecessary roughness penalty that gave TCU the first down after Baylor had stopped them.
So the Frogs and the Super Frog and homecoming here at TCU, and a 28-20 Horned Frog lead here in the third quarter. 3 touchdown runs for Davis, giving him 11 for the year. He's also caught 1 touchdown pass. Robert Williams and Derek McAdoo are back deep. John Denton, the senior from Dallas, will kick it off for TCU, and again he's going to kick across the field, and it will be fielded by Derek McAdoo on his 9. He is out to about the 23. And the purple shirts are all over the place. A return of 14 yards. Chuck Dickinson got the tackle on the play.
Critical series for the Baylor team. They've got to get their confidence back on offense. They've been stopped 3 times in a row after not having to punt at all in the first half.
Todd Connor has come in along with Robert Williams as the running backs, as Grant Tapp switches those 2 positions. First and 10 of the 23. Tom Mickey at quarterback. TCU showing blitz. They drop back. Handoff is going to go to Williams. Williams, with his speed, trying to get to the outside, turns the corner and picks up some very valuable yardage. Billy Jones, the free safety, finally ran him out. Let's see where they mark him out of bounds. It looks like he's going to get 12 yards. That'll be plenty for the first down. The ball will be spotted at the 37. First down, Baylor.
He's got great speed. TCU did not play that defense pattern badly at all, but they simply lacked the foot speed to stay with Williams as he swept the end.
Robert Williams, basically a return man, getting a chance to show his wares on the offensive unit now. First and 10 for the Bears. Goes to Williams, and Williams is stacked up near the 39. I believe that's the first down for Baylor in this in the third quarter.
That was the first down they had made, and it's on their 4th possession.
So Robert Williams, the junior from Galveston. Jim Wacker's checking his board, said, hey, wait a minute. Now, this guy, I don't think we scouted him in the backfield. Let's get a beat on him.
And let's not let him turn the corner again either.
Second down, 8. 2 minutes, 27 seconds to go in the third quarter. TCU 28, Baylor 20. Connor and Williams are the running backs. Tom Mickey throwing to the near side. Something went wrong there. Leland Douglas. That was a sideline pattern, and it looked like Douglas was going to run a fly or a post or something, but anyway, he was going the wrong direction.
Well, he and Mickey miscommunicated as we take a look at it. You can watch the secondary dropping back. Mickey's ready to throw the ball, and he throws the out pattern as the potential receiver, Douglas, is running a fly pattern, so nobody close to the wall.
3rd down, 8. Clark and Pruitt are now the wideouts for the Baylor Bears. They picked up their first down. Now they're faced with a critical 3rd down. 3rd down conversions today. Baylor 7 out of 13. Mickey under a rush, pitches it inside. That is a forward pass. He's going to Robert Williams, and Williams does not get the 1st down. Tom Sharp, number 42, the free safety from Alvin, gets the tackle. So Buzzy Sawyer will come on again.
And a very critical defensive play as we watch it again. Mickey dropping back as though it's going to be a pass, then he flips it forward. It is a forward pass, the old shovel pass. Williams tries to break it up inside, then he can't get the corner turn, and he stopped short of the 1st down.
And 4th down and 4, and Buzzy Sawyer is in for the punt. He did a marvelous job a moment ago in avoiding a safety. Another bad snap, but this time Sawyer yanks it down with a one-hand catch and drills it downfield, where it is taken and fumbled. A flag down on the play, a scramble. Baylor may have it, but let's see what that flag is about. The recovery is by TCU. A punt of 42 yards by Buzzy Sawyer, a line drive shot that didn't stay up too long. And Tommy Sharp being congratulated for picking up that loose ball. Marty Block has had trouble on those last 2 snaps, a little bit high.
Sawyer's been an outfielder trying to get to the ball, but he's got such great poise, and he did get a marvelous punt away after another bad snap.
We're down to 1:28 to go in the 3rd quarter. See what those flags are about now. Well, illegal block.
When a fair catch is called from a coaching standpoint, you just know he's got to catch the ball, and it hit him right on the numbers, bounced away, and fortunately TCU was able to make the recovery, but the penalty is now being marched off, and it backs them up to the 7-yard line.
So at the 7, the Horned Frogs of Jim Wacker leading by a score of 28-20. Take it over, 1:28 to go in the 3rd quarter. At halftime, Baylor led 20-14. In fact, Baylor led throughout the 1st half until 2:59 to go when Davis scored on a 60-yard touchdown run, his 2nd of the day. That put TCU ahead, but guess what? Baylor came right back to score with 8 seconds left to grab the lead at halftime, and that's Davis out near the 10. Pat Coriat, number 40, the defensive right tackle, gets him after a 3-yard pickup. Coriat from Baytown, from Lee High School. Kenneth Davis closing in on the 1,000-yard mark.
He's a great back, strong, fast.
Grant Taft, National Coach of the Year, 1974. When people were talking about Baylor getting out of the conference, they were talking about TCU leaving the conference. So Wacker arrives. Scaraffa with time, throwing back up the middle, complete to Dan Sharp. The flex end at the 25-yard line, 1st down. Thomas Everett, 27. Jack Hurd, 16, the safety men, make the tackle, a 15-yard pickup and a 1st down.
When Scaraffa has time to throw, he's passed beautifully, and we take a look at the offensive line blocking here. You can see Randall, the defensive end, being handled very nicely by Ford, who was a tight end but stayed in to block. Scaraffa has plenty of time to throw the ball and completes the pass.
Since coming into the ball game, Scaraffa has thrown for 114, 6 out of 10, and this is Jeffrey out across the 30 to about the 32, where Kevin Hancock, number 50, the middle linebacker, Thomas Everett, number 27, the weak side safety, who leads the team in tackles, makes the hit, 7 yards on that one. Wonder if Jim Wacker ever relaxes.
And not during a football game, and very seldom off the field.
You got to love his energy. He has as much enthusiasm off the field as he does on the sideline.
He's a fine coach and a great gentleman, and he deserves a new 7-year contract.
Clock running down to end the 3rd quarter, and we've got 4 seconds left to play in the 3rd period. So TCU will have a lead as the 3rd quarter comes to an end. They're led by Anthony Scaraffa, who's done an outstanding job since coming on. We'll be back with the 4th quarter of today's game after this word from your local station. This is 1,000, even with the threat of rain, but we just had a deluge again here in the Metroplex this morning. It's been raining for several days, and Then lo and behold, the sun comes out. We're thankful for that. Scaraffa goes to Jeffrey, and Coriat stops the play as Jeffrey was going for the first down, and they have to call the sticks to see if he made it. He might have done it without the sticks. He did. So Tony Jeffrey picks up the first down.
And they're beginning to do a better job of blocking in the offensive line, and that makes the handoff plays off the veer able to pick up fairly consistent short yardage.
One of the things that Jim Wacker did in the offseason, he really beefed up that offensive line. No changes made. They just put on a lot of extra weight and strength. Scaraffa being chased. Throwing to the run. He's got Manus wide open. Manus down the sideline is out of bounds at the 21. Anthony Colvin getting him down after a 45-yard pickup. Thomas Everett over there to help out.
And that's what the running fake will do to the defensive secondary. They all fire out as though it's a running play. Manus fakes the handoff, then rolls to the outside, moving to his left. A difficult throw, but he put it right on the money to Manus. Manus is wide open for the big game.
And those two guys did a great job getting him down. He's the big deep threat, twice a track All-American, anchored TCU's 800-meter relay team to the world's 4th fastest time ever. Right now it's Jeffrey getting the call. Jeffrey running behind Young and Flynn. Hancock stops the play after a gain of a couple. Randall and Baumkamp helping out. I'll tell you, when you've got to cover that Manus, though,
you better have some help. No one man wants to try to do it.
On the track team, he ran the leg of TCU's, and he just brings the play in, TCU's world record-shattering mile relay team indoor. Best time ever, 3.0482. You know, something else about Manus, too. Jim Wacker said last year he was the worst leader on the offense. This year he's one of the best. So it was just a question of getting the program turned around. What a pitch there by Scaraffa to Davis. Davis makes something out of nothing there with Johnny Subia, getting him out of bounds after a couple. Kenneth Davis with 12 touchdowns this season, 11 by rushing, but those 12 touchdowns are second high to Jim Schwenk, who scored 20 back in 1955. Kenneth Davis and Anthony Jeffrey, or Tony Jeffrey, if you will. Pretty good combination in that Frog backfield.
Speed to burn.
3rd down 7, showing blitz. Davis, he would have had a little bit of room there, but Scaraffa just simply got it too high for him to handle.
He just didn't have time. The blitz paid off.
It's now 4th down, and Ken Ozee comes on, the junior from Amarillo, to try a field goal of 34 yards. It'll be held by John Denton. Ozee is 5 out of 8 in the field goal department. He's got plenty of distance on this one, and it's right through the middle, a 34-yard field goal. So 3 unanswered scores by TCU, and the Frogs lead it 31-20 with 13:48 to play. Put on the first half. Tom Mickey at 275 yards passing.
I have a feeling that TCU needs to put more points on the board if they're going to be sure of defeating this Baylor team.
Long way to go. We know what teams can do late in the game, like SMU did to Baylor a couple of weeks ago. Conrad and Ates are wide. Mickey throwing. Great catch by Ates. Didn't get the first down, but he got 8 big ones. Garland Little, number 20, the cornerback, had the stop.
A little fake of the normal handoff and the option before dropping back to throw, and Mickey once again was right on target.
2nd down 2. 9 minutes to go in the ball game. TCU leading Baylor 31-20. The Baylor Bears with John Addix up over the ball. Connor is the fullback up close to the eye. And the ball goes to the tailback, Robert Williams, number 22, and Darren Turner, 93, the junior from Houston, 265 pounds. Mismatch there weight-wise, but nevertheless, Robert Williams gets the first down at the 20.
2 tight ends and powerful formation. The running play was successful as they drove TCU back off the line of scrimmage.
Ball is marked up near the 22-yard line. So the Baylor Bears down by 11. Still plenty of time, though. We know what they can do. They have proven that with their first half play as Mickey, play action. Wants the long one, and it is overthrown to Horace Ates.
Looked like Ates was open on the play. He didn't have the defender beaten very convincingly, but he did have a stride.
Sean Thomas, 22. Billy Jones, number 1, the left cornerback and free safety. We're back there on the coverage. Second down 10. The clock stopped with 8 minutes, 34 seconds remaining. The Baylor Bears had led at halftime by a score of 20-14. Of course, TCU looked sluggish in the first half, but it was the Bears who made them look that way with their tremendous defensive play and the overwhelming offense of Mickey throwing the football. Mickey, incomplete. Great try by Todd Connor, the fullback, and Garland Little had the coverage on that pattern. It is now 3rd down and 10 for the Baylor Bears.
And once again, Mickey had excellent protection, a lot of time to throw the ball, but the TCU secondary did a good job of covering.
We mentioned that there are 8 bowl representatives here today scouting TCU. And if, Bud, they were to win this ball game today, they would probably have a pretty good shot at a bowl game.
I would certainly feel so. The rest of their schedule is tough, but they should win a couple of more to be a minimum of 8 and 3.
Mickey, play action. Mickey picked off and is intercepted by TCU. It is Gerald Taylor, the linebacker, bringing the ball back to about the 16-yard line. A 15-yard return by Gerald Taylor from Dallas South Oak Cliff High School.
And Taylor is so surprised to have this ball thrown to him as we see the double fake to the 2 running backs. Mickey throws, and Taylor is right there in the path of the ball. Had he just slowed up here, there are a lot of blue shirts could have blocked for him, and he could have walked into the end zone, but he was so happy to have that ball. All he could see was goal line.
He gets in front of Leland Douglas and gets TCU, the football, back deep in Baylor territory. Scarapa to Jeffrey. Jeffrey is inside the 15, where John Bright, number 46, the linebacker, and Urban Randall, number 49, the defensive left end, make the hit. It's been a kind of a quiet day for Tony Jeffrey, who also has been over the 100-yard mark today. Jeffrey has had 12 carries now for 30 yards. Unofficially. 2nd down, 8. The big guy has been Kenneth Davis, who's over 1,000 yards for the season with his performance today. The pitch to Jeffrey. The timing on that was not good for Jeffrey. He had to wait for the pitch. He was covered by Subia, number 12, the weak safety, and Ray Berry, the weak side linebacker, 57.
Scarapa didn't pitch the ball as soon as you normally do. I think that he was late on the read to Davis. When he got the ball out and finally made the pitch, the defensive team had adjusted. They were able to stop the ball carrier very easily.
TCU now with 3 wideouts in the game. Manus is going to slot left, and Keith Burnett goes wide to the left. The tight end, Dan Sharp, is set right. Scarapa throwing, and there is Sharp. Sharp at the 5. Bulldog down at the 5-yard line by Jack Hurd, number 16, the strong safety. It is 1st down and goal.
Scarapa really is a very poised quarterback. There's the fake. He drops back. Sharp running the crossing pattern. He's wide open as the Baylor secondary was dropping back. Sharp is a good ball carrier, too. He was able to run forward after making the reception and pick up just by a narrow margin the 1st down.
Dan Sharp wanting into that end zone. Caught 1 touchdown pass today. Has 5 for the year. 1st and goal to go. Jeffrey! Touchdown! His 6th touchdown of the year rushing. TCU leading at 37-20. And we are getting into that area that was predicted. More than 60 total points. As OZ adds the extra point, 16-yard drive, 4 plays. Took 1 minute and 31 seconds.
It's the handoff again to the outside. Watch how he breaks this wide. Outside of the block of the offensive end on the handoff. It's much wider than it normally hits, and it's scored.
TCU has outscored Baylor 24-0 here in the 2nd half and has a 38-20 lead with 6:49 left in the game. TCU kicking off, and Denton kicks it for that corner again. It will be fielded at about the 3-yard line and brought back by Derek McAdoo. McAdoo gets out across the 30 and is popped down at about the 31.
He had a good lane and found the lane, made the fine return.
David Spradlin will get the tackle on that one, number 55. So there is the drive, and Jeffrey a 5-yard touchdown run. Baylor did an outstanding job of controlling the big play by TCU. We're looking at the rushing yards here now. TCU has gained the advantage. Davis, of course, did rip off that big 60-yard touchdown run in the first half, and that's been the mark of TCU this year. Always coming up with that big play to put the opposition in a hole. Mickey stripped down by Kent Hamill, number 91, the nose guard.
Prior to this game, TCU had 10 runs of over 50 yards, and they'd had 14 of over 30 yards. So they are a big play team with a running attack.
2nd down 8 coming up. Well, just to go along with that, Bud, Tony Jeffrey, a 53-yard and a 72-yard touchdown run against Utah State. Davis, a 59-yard TD run, 51-yard, 59, 82 against North Texas. Gully, 74-yard touchdown run against Rice. That's just part of the big plays that TCU has come up with this year. Tom Mickey, they're closing in on him. He runs out of the trap, throws on the run, hits his receiver. Sean Thomas gets Matt Clark down, and Baylor has a first down. The ball will be spotted on the 48, a gain of 14.
And a very good job by the wide receiver. You see him starting downfield here. He doesn't know the quarterback's in trouble. He stops, he starts back, and Lewis makes the catch because he ran a very fine pass pattern.
Clark and Pruitt are the wideouts. Time remaining, 5:54. Grant Tapp and his Bears have a real problem. They're down by 18 points. They have been shut out of the second half. Mickey throwing incomplete, off target to Glenn Pruitt, 25, and Littles, number 20, had the coverage on the play.
And the TCU secondary may be burned again before the game is over, but they're playing with so much more confidence here in the second half than they did in the first half. And of course, that came from the fact that they stopped Baylor the first 3 times they had the ball without a first down.
2nd down coming up, 10 yards to go. The clock stopped with 5:45 left to play. We have played under sunshine. I wouldn't believe it after coming over here this morning in a deluge. Bobby Joe Conrad, 82. Horace H, 23 are the wideouts there in the slot to the left. Mickey is brought down by Gerald Taylor, the linebacker.
TCU had the blitz on. The protection failed just a little bit. The receivers, however, were all covered, and it's an 8-yard loss on the play.
You know, when Gerald Taylor was given the job of replacing Kyle Clifton, Taylor only a sophomore coming up that freshman year, he has really filled those shoes quite well. Mickey over 300 yards in the air and 2 touchdowns. Baylor led at the half 20-14. Conrad and Pruitt are split out wide. 3rd down 18. Mickey right over the middle and is intercepted. This time it is Sean Thomas who steps in front of the receiver to take the ball right off the turf. It was intended for Bobby Joe Conrad, and Thomas just sneaked in there and took that ball at the 47-yard line. So TCU has it, leading 38-20 with 4:58 to play, and we'll be right back after this leadership going into the action up there today. First down for TCU. They've come up with 2 big interceptions in this half. They lead 38-20 with 4:58 left to play. They're shooting for their 6th win of the year. And Jim Wacker, who has promoted smash mouth football, has seen his defense apply some of that principle here in the second half. They've been very aggressive. Scaraffa. Down the sideline for Manus. Covered by Johnny Thomas, number 41. Ball thrown behind Manus. Manus caught a 99-yard touchdown pass against Rice. Somebody said, has anybody ever done better? No.
Pretty hard to.
No.
Texas A&M handily in front of Rice. Only the first quarter. Close game, Tulsa, Texas Tech.
You can't have more than Arkansas leading Houston here. You can't have more than a 99-yard pass because the yardage marker is the immediate yard marker ahead. Can't throw one to the end zone. Davis breaks the tackle from behind the line of scrimmage, gets back to the line of scrimmage. And Johnny Thomas, 41, the right cornerback, and John Bright, who was hurt in the TCU game a year ago, missed the rest of the season, was in on the tackle. So John Bright out of Killeen, a 3-year Letterman senior, glad to be back in the harness against TCU, and Scaraffa. says, I think we have a man hurt, or we have a man who needs an equipment repair. Clock running, 4:24 to go in the game.
They're going to try to not have to take the timeout, which they do not.
So they're right up to the line of scrimmage with 4:10 remaining in the game. TCU ahead by 18. Garapa hit behind the line. Fine defensive charge there by the linebacker, Ray Berry, who was giving on the blitz along with Kevin Hancock. So they sent two of them.
And the blitz worked to perfection as we take another look at it. Garapa faking, but has no chance at all. Bingo, 7-yard loss.
And it is 4th down and 16 as Baylor calls a timeout. And Baylor will have 3 remaining timeouts. 3 minutes, 54 seconds in this ball game. Bud Wilkinson, this has been two games, 2 halves for TCU, 2 completely different games.
They were closer than you expected in view of the time of possession and yardage in the first half, but they were still a touchdown behind. And then here in the second half, they've been totally dominant from an offensive standpoint as well as a defensive standpoint.
2 weeks from today, Raycom and the Southwest Conference have a dandy for you. The first-place Houston Cougars of Coach Bill Yeoman travel to Austin to face the Longhorns of Fred Akers. It's the 3rd-ranked Longhorns and the first-place Cougars in the Southwest Conference. 2 weeks from today, November 10th at 11:30 a.m. at Central Time on the Raycom Southwest Conference Game of the Week. Robert Williams is back in a single safety as James Gargis will kick it.
And I think we're going to get the big rush from the Baylor defensive team. It appears that they have 10 men along the line of scrimmage to try to get to the ball before it's kicked.
And now Thomas Everett is going to be the deep man for Baylor. We have a flag down. We had movement by the offense. Not too much of a kick there, but a great roll. And it is finally fielded by Everett, and Everett gets it out across the 15, about the 17, but somebody moved with a purple shirt on. 45-yard kick, a 3-yard return. Let's see what Baylor's going to make him do it again.
In a funny situation like that, you point to the man that you're going to block, and the number of people that Baylor had up there, there was a little indecision, and the lineman wanted to make it perfectly clear that I'm going to shoot for this guy. He pointed at him and was moving at the time the ball was snapped.
So once more, TCU will kick the ball away with 3 minutes, 43 seconds remaining. That clock doesn't start until the ball's touched. So it's 38-20 TCU. The Horned Frogs would appear now, but you never know. It would appear that they've got their 6th game within the grasp here. The legal procedures to call. James Gargis will kick it again. He's averaged 41 yards. Matt Clark is going to go back deep now. The all-purpose football player for Baylor.
Big rush again.
Here they come. Gargis belts it, and Clark has to go back to get it over the shoulder. 25. He is yanked down on the 27 by David Spradlin. So we got another flag.
This one is after the ball was handled, however.
38-yard kick, a 2-yard return. Baylor's total offense for the second half. We're talking about the 2 different games. 95 yards, that's a clipping penalty against Baylor. 95 yards total offense for Baylor in the second half. TCU has had 267.
And the total offensive yards in the first half for Baylor were 368 yards.
You've watched 2 games today, and this penalty will go against Baylor, and we'll be back after this word from the Jefferson Pilot Corporation. Tom Mickey, Cody Carlson on the sideline for the 2nd straight week. Last year it was Mickey who led, or last week rather, Mickey led Baylor to a victory over Texas A&M. Straight drop. Breaks it up. Incomplete. Leland Douglas covered by Sean Thomas. Last year, Baylor won 56-21. This year, TCU 38, Baylor 20. Baylor, the number 1 team in the Southwest Conference in rushing defense, 113.3.
They've done a reasonably good job of containing the rushing offense of this TCU team that is leading the country in rushing.
Except for the one man.
That's correct.
Davis with 167 yards. They've really shut Jeffrey down pretty well. Second down, the rush is on. He gets that pass away, and somehow he completed it to Derek McAdoo, and McAdoo makes something out of nothing as Gary Spann, 57, the linebacker, finally got him down. but Mickey was able to avoid a long loss on the play as he was under a tremendous rush. Paul Jones was coming after him, number 82.
A very poised play by Mickey. McAdoo, the safety valve receiver, and just with the nick of time getting the ball to him.
Gain of 6. It's 3rd down 4. Matt Clark, number 8. Horace H., number 23, are the wideouts for Baylor. They come into the slot left. Now they go to one setback. Mickey almost brought down from behind. Mickey, a first down. He's on the way. Maybe there are 2 men who could stop him. He avoids. No, he did not avoid. Garland Little, who got him with an arm tackle. Just got a hand out there to pull him down after a 44-yard gallop by Mickey, taking the ball to the 36-yard line of TCU.
Man-for-man secondary when there's a blitz. Mickey drops back. Here comes the pressure. He finds daylight up the middle. And now everybody, the secondary is chasing the receivers. One man misses a tackle. It appeared like Mickey might have it all the way to the goal line, but he's unable to get past the last man.
First down at the 36-yard line. And Mickey back to throw again. Mickey throwing back to the near side, incomplete, intended for Broderick Sargent.
I think he's a little winded after that last run.
Well, Tom Mickey, we're going to add up his yards for the game. The most yards total offense in one game by a Baylor player was 405 by Buddy Humphrey against Rice in 1958. He had 18 yards rushing and 387 yards passing. So we'll total up Tom Mickey's offensive marks for the day and see what he has. Mickey's got 308 yards in the air. He's got 360 yards, or rather he's got 60 yards on the ground, 308 yards in the air. 2nd down, 10. Mickey throwing over the middle. This time completes it to Bobby Joe Conrad. Bobby Joe at the 20-yard line. Garland Littles, number 20, the coverage there. Another first down for the Baylor Bears.
And it was a great catch by Bobby Joe. We have a Baylor man down on the field.
Gain of 16 yards as Mickey goes to the sideline. Well, no surprise here, I don't think. Our Curtis Mathis player of the game is Kenneth Davis. Curtis Mathis will contribute a 19-inch full-feature color television set to Texas Christian University in the name of Kenneth Davis. At the end of the season, he will receive a plaque from Curtis Mathis recognizing this honor. What has he done today? 19 carries, 167 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 60-yard touchdown gallop. And caught a touchdown pass for 30.
And he's only a junior.
Oh, check that. He did not score on the pass play for a touchdown. Well, he didn't have to win the honor. Well, things are kind of quiet on the field as we check the injured player. Jeff Palmer, who was filling in at the left guard spot for the injured Joel Porter today. Again, our thanks to Brian Mize and Jeff Sims, who was spotted for us today, and Lee Friday, our statistician. And Palmer is being helped off the field. We've got a timeout, 2:44 to play. TCU 38, Baylor 20. Conrad and Douglas and Pruitt are now in as wide receivers. Fake draw, Mickey going for the touchdown to Douglas. He was out of bounds and couldn't handle it anyway. Leland Douglas covered by Garland Littles. They worked on Littles pretty good in that first half, but he has done an outstanding job in the second half.
As a freshman, he's developed poise, and he's going to be a very fine football player the rest of this season. Baylor's doing a good job of protecting the passer. We're getting a blitz almost every play by TCU, but Mickey still, most of the time, has ample time to throw the ball.
Tom Mickey charging on toward the total offensive mark held by Buddy Humphrey. 2nd down, 10. Mickey being chased and fires away, and it's incomplete. Joe Barrett, number 88, the tight end. Derek Turner over there in the coverage.
And the entire Baylor coaching staff is screaming, interference, interference. Screen pass, the snap was fumbled. Mickey did a good job of getting rid of the ball, but didn't have time to throw it with any degree of accuracy.
3rd down, 10 on the 25-yard line. Most yards passing in the game, 387 by Buddy Humphrey. We talked about that a moment ago. So let's zero in once again on Mickey, who's at 324 for Baylor. 3rd down, 10. Clark and Pruitt are wide. Whistle stopping play as that one got underway.
Been a 25-second violation. I'm not sure. The Baylor team lined up in the wrong formation.